So, good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the battlefield for EMS1 Group D. Jason,
damn it, Apollo, for being so freaking short.
I know, right? These people, they mess around with our headsets, and now we have to pick up the pieces. It's not good. But we are back in the battlefield action today, and we have another group on the way to find out who'll be joining us in the offline finals, not too far away with the 8 other teams, I do believe. So, it's going to be a big day today. 6 teams now, 8 when these two come through. But still, it's going to be a big day today.
It's going to be a huge day. I mean, considering how the groups have gone throughout the past couple of days, we had Group B, which was really interesting.
Upside down.
It was topsy-turvy. I mean, against Authority, they got knocked out, losing 2 games straight. And then we come to the games yesterday, which is pretty much one-sided across the board. Meet Makers and UMAV both qualifying through on that one. UMAV keeping that curse alive, staying in second place. But, you know, this group coming out today, I still don't even know who's going to be the first team to qualify through because we have Epsilon, not with Mayic.
It's hard to
and
call,
we have
isn't
Eyeballers because we actually, you actually talked to Kawa yesterday, and he was saying that we've beaten Epsilon before 3-0.
Yeah, in practices.
That's true.
And apparently he gets grief from his teammates when I call him out. So I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to pretend that I don't know him today. I'm going to disown him.
I'm going to follow him the entire time.
See, you know, Ted could never aim, so we can enjoy that, you know. He'll really appreciate me saying that, but
I hope you say, I could have hit that shot.
I will.
Okay.
In my head, I'll at least be saying. But anyway, let's get back and remind you guys of the rankings that really did kind of shock us when we got into that Group B before, and what could you know, cause another couple of surprises today, because obviously there are some very clear-cut favorites within this group so far. Epsilon in 3rd. I think it's very hard to deny these guys. But if you look at the cups, they actually, you know, walked away with the good results on. They're a bit here and there. Cup 1, 25 points. Cup 3, 25. But Cup 2 smashed it, and Cup 4 did quite respectively well. But then you look down to Eyeballers, who, you know, they were one of the teams who got directly invited into the league. And, well, they did absolutely nothing. You know, they're sitting down in 15th position, slightly higher than Team Pyrogen, who actually did make it into the offline finals from Group B. So you can't write anyone out just yet. And, you know, we've got GC Esports and Planet Key Dynamics. So 2 teams that can go up or down, very close on the rankings, minimal points between them, 7th and 9th. Very hard to call this one, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like we've learned throughout the past 3 days, and we're probably going to see today that rankings really didn't matter too much. It really kind of didn't affect how things went. Obviously, we saw out of the top 4 teams, 2 of them get through so far. Epsilon obviously had their choice or their chance to get through today. But, you know, you look at Dignitas, they got through. Meet Makers. I mean, the top 6 have gotten through, minus, you know, obviously 1 or 2 people in there. But we've seen a lot of teams, like you mentioned, Pyrogen, 16th place, come through to top their entire group, going in for or qualifying first through that. Really caught everyone off guard, but, you know, coming in today's matches, we have some really interesting teams within this group as well. Very close skilled, or matched skill-wise.
Yes.
I don't really know who's going to go through.
Well, let's remind people of those groups so you guys have an understanding of what we've been seeing in the last couple of days, because there have been some upsets. So in Group A, the 2 teams that did manage to qualify were Fnatic and Dignitas. Yoki and #Free not quite being able to make it. Following that was Group B. Team Pyrogen and ESC, the 2 underdogs, stepped up and claimed that one. And following that, UMAV in 2nd, no surprise there, and MYM in 1st, qualifying from Group C. And today is Group D. Epsilon, GC, Esports, Planet Key Dynamics, and Eyeballers, as we just mentioned. So some phenomenal teams there. We are just be waiting to find out the final 2 to join us, and we can kind of remind you of the route they may have to be taking in the games we'll be watching first when we bring up those brackets, which is going to be the next important factor, is what routes these guys will be taking. We start with Epsilon against Eyeballers just because, you know, we've got to watch Koa not be able to aim, and everyone likes watching Epsilon. Planet Key Dynamics up against GC Esports, certainly going to be probably a very close one as well, considering how close they were on the rankings. But I really want to see where these 2 teams are at the moment, you know, especially, you know, Eyeballers. I want to see how they're playing. You know, they'll happily admit themselves they are a bit of a mixed team, and they're not in maybe the best shape. But, you know, they've got a lot of talent, which is what I'm looking forward to seeing. So hopefully we aren't too far away from being ready into this one. I do believe the teams are on the server now.
This is also the only group to have every team that was invited as a core team into the MS1 series.
Wow.
So there's a lot of competition between them. I mean, Eyeballers, they obviously haven't been playing that well throughout the cups.
Yes, I agree.
But they still were an invited team. So you're going to have to live up to that. And only 2 of those invited teams will actually get through to today to play March 1st and 2nd.
Tough times. Your predictions on the top 2 here? Ours have been atrocious to this point. But maybe we can redeem ourselves in the final cup.
I want to say Epsilon's going to get through. I mean, Mayic was a big part of their team, but there's a lot of synergy built up within the team anyways. So it's not really going to matter too much for them. The second team, I think it just depends on who actually plays well today. As you know, as you were saying before when we were talking to Cal, he said, you know, we beat them 3-0 in practice. I mean, obviously we've heard stories like that before, where unfortunately they go into a tournament setting, they, you know, lose to them very harshly. But I want to say Eyeballers just because I want to have faith, and that was the first team we really saw do well when we started up these cups.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was on Locker or something like that. We saw them
Operation
being
Locker.
really strong on, but we can get ourselves towards the game now because we are almost ready to get underway. We will be starting on Dam, so a bit of a surprise to both of our eyes, but then again, new team for Eyeballers really this time around. They don't have the same 5 they started with, so a little bit unique in that aspect. So, you know, they might be working something out. We are just about to get underway, so we can drop into game in just a moment to take you through the lineups of, well, for Epsilon, it's David, Akash, Duke, Jera, and Horek. For Eyeballers, take us through them.
Secret Guy, Grossfell. You always give me the hard names. I feel like you do this on purpose. Xenix, I don't know how to say the K guy's name, and Smashu. Let's call him Sit. Let's call him Sit. All right.
Cool, Sit.
I feel like I'm going to say too many words that are wrong on that one. But anyways, we do have a little bit of interesting start off. We have Epsilon gaining control of gaining control of A, and maintaining control of B off the bat. And thing is, Epsilon, this is a map that Eyeballers chose. Eyeballers are 1 and 2 on this map. Obviously, past results you can't really 100% use considering they have a different lineup. But Epsilon's 3 for 3 on it. And we've had a lot of discussions between all 4 days about map choices, and this is kind of following trend of not being a very smart choice in our opinion.
Well, we're going to have to find out if Eyeballers can win those one-on-ones. We saw, you know, a couple of teams who picked this one doing really well when they just managed to beat out the oppositions flat out. We're seeing Zinx there actually going for a nice little bit of a claim on A. He's got it down to a one-on-one here, but I can imagine the respawns maybe coming in. But there's a move on towards the B site as well at the same time. A couple of frags coming in for Epsilon there. They've kind of put the other team down, and we are seeing Zinx now making his move towards that A side as he does feel the most of the attention was drawn to B. He's right to be feeling so. They're going to get a 2-1 hold, and actually they could keep this for a small while, but I think they've overcommitted a little bit towards A, negating C completely.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is being able to get that 2-cap, you know, kind of stop that bleed that was happening against you. I mean, 142 to 129, that's a very strong start for Epsilon, but this is the dangerous part, you know, B. That's kind of like the cornerstone of a flag you want to be able to hold on to. If you typically can hold on to that and one more, you will generally be able to win out on this map. And when inside B, you know, if Eyeballers just step inside B, it's very hard to penetrate it. And right now, Epsilon, they actually traded the positioning side of B. And see Duke go down here in Eyeballers, they might be able to get the cap onto it, but they still have a lot of work ahead. And they have a lot of men here in the vicinity to help out with this. And there's actually no one defending A.
Yeah, I think we do need to keep our eyes on Secret Guy, though, as we do believe that is Koa. We need to kind of keep eyes on that A, and we know it's questionable. And they've actually dealt with a threat that was splitting towards A. They should be getting the 2-1 hold here. If they can get set up on that B site, we are seeing Secret Guy, a.k.a. newly appointed Koa. If it's not him, we do apologize for any mockery we give you. But he's in a great spot to be able to kind of spot out these rotates, call it through to his rest of the teammates, like Smashu, who is just going to wait for the push. He's in the right spot here. They're all running with the Sky H, but they're not winning out on those one-on-ones, and now they're losing out on that B site.
Okay, his aim's seem to do pretty well today. He's now 5 and 2 for his team, currently leading in KDA. Don't worry, he'll get worse throughout the night.
That's what we hope.
That's what we expect. But right now, they do have the 2-1 hold for Epsilon, and they're still maintaining that little bit of a ticket advantage they've been able to build up here. And even if they do kind of lose one man in a 1v1, they managed to take one down with them. But if you look at general kills overall, it's 19 to 17 in favor of Eyeballers. So they're winning in kills, but they're still losing in points.
Yeah, they're in a good spot, though, for B. They are outnumbering the opponents right now, but they need to make these kills happen pretty quickly before those respawns come in, and they're not doing it fast enough. 2 respawns now in place, Horek being one of them, and Jera being the next, being able to mop up the remains of their opponent. And they're in a really good spot now, Epsilon. They can hold this one down, and look at those respawns for Eyeballers. They are absolutely nowhere. They're going to save on the respawns here, go for, you know, a little bit of a later one so they can actually get to a decent position, but that's a really long way out, and they could lose out on A here and actually get trip capped.
I like Akash positioning right there on top of that building because he spotted everyone coming in from Eyeballers from that southwest side, and from that, it allowed Duke and Jared to kind of David and Jared push straight into A, cap that one over, realizing they're going to lose out on C most likely. And from this A cap, they can probably transition into a strong B hold here, but Eyeballers, he's already been able to, he's managed to be able to push in here, but he does get taken down, and that could have been big if he was able to push into that finally and really create that little bit of a disruption that they needed. And right now, they haven't even capped over C. They didn't even lock that one down, and Grov, he's just kind of, or Grossfell, he's just kind of sitting there leaving it alone. He doesn't even bother going for it.
That's not good at all. Guys, what is going on, Eyeballers? They've got a nice chance to pick up A at least. Sit is on his own here, so he should be able to pick this one up. Finally, a little bit of a recalling Epsilon, looking to challenge this one out as, you know, they need to get this in their hands. Look at those tickets. They are getting desperately low, 70 to 125. Eyeballers, they may have been doing well in practices, but it's not transferring to the official games here. But they're always in a good spot, though. They've got, you know, a good chance to, you know, really annoy A. They've got players ready for B, and they've actually got someone to actually defend that C site this time. Grovel actually trying to get the fire through. He does take one down, but Akos immediately ready to pick up the mantle here. Does pick him up as well, so well defended on C. They've got a good chance of converting that B site. They've finally lost out on A, but they've got the ideal position. They keep forgetting to cap over these sites completely.
And Grosswell, he's not done just yet. I think that's 3 kills in a row for him, maybe even 4. And right now, actually, well, there is even a 5th off of that. But right now, you see, Eyeballers, they managed to get the 2-to-1 hold, but they can't continue to hold it. As a defensive position, they're not able to get in the position they want to be in to really hold them off. And Epsilon are able to just penetrate that. And that's something that Epsilon's been able to do a lot better than them so far in this game. And I like Grosswell's position right there because it's giving him control of C, and he's actually supporting his team out here inside of B, where they have 4 men pushed up into this aggressively.
Really nice play, but now you can see the Epsilon already negating that position by using the outside of the buildings. So Grovel cannot actually see the B site. It's staying within Eyeballer's hands for now, but it's a matter of time before they actually execute this push. Finally being able to spot one out, but already that 2-man push coming in from Epsilon, which was David and Horek, has done the damage, and that is now going back over into their favor. David's going to be capping that one through. The only place we can see Eyeballers making a concerted push will be from C. We're seeing a very long rotate, however, from Koa, but time's running pretty low now. 58 tickets is not a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if I kind of agree. I mean, it's kind of an interesting time to go for this kind of really long flank where he ran completely around the back side of the map. He's going to be able to get over towards A without being spotted out. And David, though, he still have to make that 1v1 happen unless David actually pushes up towards B, which he's currently doing. So he might be able to get the cap onto this. If he can pick up the kill, actually might secure him that 2-to-1 hold here, but they have to transition to something else off of that because they're going to get pushed through to C most likely.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, Epsilon can stay where they are for now, but now we're seeing that, A side being taken over by 2 players of Eyeballers. That might be the go signal towards Epsilon to push away from B once they've cleared the immediate threats and start focusing on that C side. But we are seeing 2 players in a great position. Slit push straight forward from A towards B to defend it. We are now seeing the fact that Zinx is in trouble. He's got 2 players very close by, Jera and David, going towards C. Looking for a way through. He's playing it passively right now, trying to wait this out. Maybe see where his positions are going to end up here, because they're going to lose out on A, so he might need to start considering getting that little bit of a sneak on and trying to reclaim the C site.
He's still sitting inside this building for quite a while. I'm not really sure what he's doing right now, but maybe he's waiting for them to rotate off the flag, just kind of sneak in there last second, pick that one up, because he's starting to cap that one over. In the meantime, he's trying to kind of pincer them in as well, trying to get this kill on a Jarrah so he can stop this push from B from happening. He does have the flag cap going over himself. They're actually going to nade over that cat scan, I think that is. He's not going to pick up the kill onto him just yet, though, but either way, he finally has some backup. They're going to be able to maintain control of C here. And Horek, he's the last man inside of the C area. He's got to try to hold on to this one if he can, but he does get taken down. And that is a 2-to-1 hold for Eyeballers here. And right now, the positioning out of Epsilon isn't the greatest. They're actually waiting for the respawns, I would assume, over towards Jera, and they're going to start to push it A.
Yeah, Akos picked up that respawn there. And we are seeing these guys actually getting trip capped at the moment. Eyeballers doing rather well. Slit now has to hold on to this, though. Sit is in a real tricky position. 3 players against him. He's going to go down. And they're not exactly set up for that B defense either. Only Smashu and Koa actually able to focus this one down. The rest of his team are fairly far back on C. They seem to be getting quite worried about losing one of these sites, even though they have a good chance of defending this B section, and they're in a good crossfire, but oh, they're lost out here. Smashu went down to Jera, but no, it was Secret Guy went down to Jera, and now he's seen Smashu trying to get the rise. Lovely play coming in from him, defending that B site all alone, and they're holding this 2-to-1. That gigantic lead that Epsilon had is being worked away at now.
That was such a weird hold by Smashy, because you're sitting on top of that staircase watching, I think, 2 or 3 different places of them to enter in towards this B building. Was able to pick up quite a few kills, and from that, able to hold on to B for just a little bit longer, but there is one man there, Horek. He's basically the Delarco of Epsilon, always backcapping as much as possible, trying to sneak in there. He unfortunately does get taken down. And like you said before, they're whittling away that lead that Epsilon haven't finally been able to build up. 60 to 30 tickets. They've shrunken it even more than that currently. I don't remember what the ticket lead was for them. I think it was around 80 or 90.
It was at least 80.
Yeah, and they are doing a fantastic job of really getting this. They have the tri-cap down, and right now, Epsilon, they have to make a move somewhere, and we got to find out where it's going to come in, and it looks like it's going to be finally at B.
Yeah, indeed. They're moving on B. They're going to be challenged on A, however, but look at the immediate push-out coming in from Eyeballers. They look like they want to challenge this one, and they're doing just that. They're winning the one-on-ones, as mentioned, and now we've got Zinx and Koa now just locking this one out. B should be theirs, unless Horek and Jera can pull off something pretty damn good here. They're in a good spot. They're getting the 2-to-1, and they could get the trip cap if they hold down A. They do have a challenger there, which is Akos, but mostly it's all focused on B, and they're doing brilliantly. 24 to 45. They have pulled this one back from the absolute brink. Duke and Koa have got themselves in a perfect spot now, though, to change over B in towards Epsilon's hands, but those respawns coming in of Smashu and Zinx could really help them just defend this one as much as possible.
And they still maintain it. Oh, just as I said, I actually do lose out on that one cap they had. But Smash U is going to be working on the backside of A here. I want to see if he's going to actually go for the penetrate on it or actually go towards A, as he actually has Slit go in by himself over towards A. I don't think there's actually anyone there defending against it. And Smash is actually going to spot David right there. Does get taken down, and that does stop a little bit of pressure coming down on this A flag. But Slit does get taken down as well. And Epsilon, they're going to maintain control of A, and they might even be able to cap B off of this as well, because they have 2 men there. Jera going to pick up 1 kill. He actually gets 2 off that. And that will be that 2-1 hold finally back in favor of Epsilon.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all she wrote for these guys. The spawn coming for Eyeballers is almost too far away to make any odds, but considering they had an 80-ticket deficit, this is a big turnaround for these guys. If they can maybe pick up a couple of kills, I doubt Epsilon would respawn just to maintain those 36 tickets they have. They've done really well for themselves here, and I don't think they can be too upset in the first half at least. So 36 tickets, I believe, is what is going to be left, and Eyeballers now have to keep their eyes on that number. But you know, that is not a bad showing from them at all. I do want to look over the kills to deaths here, because at the start, it was a very close game, but I do believe Eyeballers kind of slipped away a little bit towards the end then. But, you know, you can't deny Epsilon's talent in one-on-one abilities. Those guys are phenomenal at that.
They definitely are, and I'm trying to think back what was the real turning point in the game, and it was pretty much just around Eyeballers picking up those 2 to 3 flags that they were able to hold on for quite a while and really force Epsilon into an interesting position. But
yeah,
one thing that I also noticed was that Eyeballers started to win these 1v1 trades, and from that, Epsilon kind of kept going in by themselves, not really waiting for their full respawn to come in to retake flags, and they kind of took advantage of the chaos that chaos that was going on in Epsilon's crew.
Most certainly. So I'm not sure what to make of this one, because as we mentioned, Eyeballers did have a turning point there, but I don't know how they could speed that up. It was almost an opportune kind of moment. It wasn't completely set up from their skill alone. I think they had some brilliant rotates coming around towards the A site occasionally. Sid being one of them, just really making it, his presence known there and winning out the one-on-ones, doing really well. But sometimes you can't just depend on always winning one-on-one. So I'm kind of curious to see how they kind of go about it on this side. They normally, if they're starting towards the north on this, will get gifted the A site and possibly the convert on towards B, just because it's a little bit closer really towards both sides, and they will be. So if they're going live off the back of this, they won't be. But if they are starting on the Russian side, they should be at least, being able to hold that 1 to 2 rather than starting at a disadvantage. So I'll be interested to see how they do that. And I actually want to see the guns they're running with here, because we saw some variations. But actually, Koa sitting with the Scar H, angle grip, standard barrel. So no kind of muzzle break in that one. Let's see, is anyone else actually spawned in? No.
Nope.
So yeah, just Koa. we can just talk about Koa for a bit, Ted.
No, there you go.
He's got a buddy. All right, he's been saved by Smash U. Let's see what he's running with. He's currently got his pistol out just to annoy me. Good job. Good job. But no, we can talk about Ted again.
What is he looking at?
We can talk. Let's go back to Ted. All right.
But he's looking at the sky. It's so
it's
pretty.
It's beautiful. Ted is, a glorious Swede. Very cool dude. Nice hair. Everyone likes Ted's hair. What is it with Swedish people and good hair?
What's it with Swedish people and their genetics? I mean,
they're all Vikings, man. I swear to God. Like,
I haven't seen
tall, blonde, and attractive.
Exactly.
It's just every single one of them. But yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm trying to think.
And they're bred to play FPSs too.
Yeah, they're really good at that.
I don't
understand.
understand.
It's like that and Dota, they're generally pretty good at.
It's like when they're a baby.
Is there any League of Legends teams from Sweden? Like any
full
really
Swedish
good
teams?
Or like at least one good solid player.
Probably. I don't
really. So not in like
try to remember their
maybe.
nationality when I was casting
Where's
them.
Cyanide from? Is he Finnish?
But he's German. No, I think he's Finnish. Yeah, he's Finnish.
Okay, well he's not quite Swedish. But no, FPS they always do seem to kind of like forge these incredible players. It's like NIP is just built off it, but. Hopefully Eyeballers can serve. Because Eyeballers, they have been a bit of a prolific side throughout FPS genre in general. You look back to any game, they've always been pretty much at the top in some form or another. So hopefully these guys can actually get to that point. And, considering they're already at this sort of stage when they'll happily admit to, to anyone that they are a bit of a mixed team, they certainly got the potential to get there. It's just, we see so many drilled in strats these days coming out from the very best of the best. It's probably not an easy transition to make sure everything works, but a bit of a variation for David actually there. He's going to be around with the Ace 52 CQB. Angle grip as well, but, interesting choice. Extraordinarily good close range.
Can you actually check with the admins and see what's going on? Because
yes, we can.
I'm curious why.
Not live.
Well, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I mean,
thanks, guys.
It would be nice to know why Epsilon doesn't have 2 men currently in the server.
Yeah, I've dropped
Horik and Jera, I'm not sure exactly why they hopped out, but
they may be having some issues. So
maybe.
yeah, we'll hopefully get that resolved.
But we have an exciting day of matches. I mean, Line King Dan, that's going to be the first one in this best of 3. Going to be going to Operation Locker right after this, and that was the first map we saw Eyeballers on back when we cast them before even the EMS1 series began, and they really impressed us. But currently within the EMS1 season, they're 0-2 for on that, or 0 for 2 on that one, or Epsilon are 4 for 6. So right now, just statistically, Epsilon should be the victors of this, but we saw Eyeballers put up some good fight in them, obviously in that last half.
Yeah, they certainly did, and no updates from the admins as to why they dropped. But you know, Twitch chat seems to enjoy the Swedish vibe that was going out right there. They're like, go Swedes. Viking of Doom, I think, is what someone called themselves. They're called Janssen. Of course, they're damn Swedish.
They call me Jason.
Jason. Yum.
Yeah. Oh, Jer. Okay, so Jer's rejoining.
UK was top in COD 4. No.
Is UK top ever in any game?
To be fair, they were good. Like
In
MYM were good in COD 4 a long time ago, but
MYM had a UK team?
yeah.
I thought they were like strictly Polish.
No, Meteor Makers a long time ago was all English. It was Mark Horner, Tom Newman, Duffer, Sokolon and Luxor, I think it was. All English guys. Really, really good. But they weren't the best. Sorry.
And again, I could pretty much just say, has America really ever been the best in any game? And
Yeah, what is with Americans not being very good at these games? Like, they could have like the Street Fighter stuff. Don't the producer like suddenly turns around like, have I insulted him? Maybe.
Like,
Halo they're good at. Halo they nailed.
Yeah, that's not a real competitive game.
Oh, it was pretty cool. Come on, like I used to enjoy watching that. Like who didn't? It was pretty cool back in the day. No, you weren't a fan?
No, I just wanted to say something that I'd probably get in trouble for.
Inappropriate, Jason. Just assume it's wrong.
Was it the casting that really got you going with Halo, though? Is that what made it so exciting?
Yes. It's not as bad as some of the casting.
I don't think the people at home understand what we're talking about, but we know what we're talking about.
We know what we're saying.
Yeah,
If you've ever seen those 360 no-scope bangarang montages, you'll know what we're going on about. They're amazing, by the way. Like, there's a whole subreddit dedicated towards it.
I remember so what we did once, I had a show for a different FPS game, and we actually watched frag videos from that game and then from Call of Duty, and we took the sound or the audio from one of the Call of Duty videos, put it over the frag video of the other game. It actually fit very damn well. It was pretty sweet. Yeah,
I think Fwiz would have disowned me if he ever knew I did that to his podcasting. But
well, I mean, we never even said who the name was. But
yeah,
you just kind of.
I'm calling him out. Yeah, he knows he casts for the hype. That's all he's there for. It's like he's got the voice for it. I don't blame him. There's always Benson. Whew, we're getting down to this sort of level already. But no, we are just waiting on obviously on the reconnects.
Perfect timing.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they have all 5 people.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
But they have to restart the map and then re-swap the sides again, so.
God damn.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit here.
Damn.
What are people in chat saying? I can't read it from here. I'm too lazy to get closer to you.
Yes, they was Dignitas. Okay, so you're saying Dignitas? Really?
For League?
No, for COD 4. Which Dignitas lineup? Are you saying Black Main Raz one? Oof. Fnatic would only be good because of Stevie? No.
That's the only name I recognize from Call of Duty 4.
Stevie was great, but that's because he was put in situations that he was allowed to be great in.
So he was cheating.
Yeah, that's exactly it. No, his team allowed him to do that. You know, having people like if you ever play with Mama or Lincoln, they are phenomenal at their job. Same with Odyx and people like that. And you know, if you have a big key player, for example, Mayak, you play around that. You just let them run loose sometimes because that's the best thing they can do. It's like you play strategy and you're like, okay, you just go and run wild. And that's exactly what they did. It's the same with Fantasy. If you're ever a big fan of him, he played like a brainless ape, but no one could predict it, so it was just perfect. But we are almost ready to get underway here. Epsilon will be on the Chinese side. Eyeballers will be on the Russian side. And I feel as though Eyeballers, if they get this good 2-to-1 setup, they're in a great spot to keep this one going through here.
But that's one thing, and no, it's not live. Great. Fantastic.
I can go back.
I was never convinced by... Actually, yeah, let's just save that for later. Where are we going to go back on?
I'm going back to this. Fantasy English. He is English. He lives in Luton. Come at me, bro.
Do you know his address as well?
No. Sadly. I wish I did.
What?
Mark Fantasy Penny. There's a great land story about Fantasy, actually. Going back to one of the Crossfire lands.
Crossfire.
Crossfire.
That was a board game back in the US.
I don't know what that
it was really
is.
fun.
But yeah, we were going back to LAN, and basically this guy was...
Yes, our producer knows what it is. Yes,
wow,
good. He knows the game.
America.
The little steel balls and the gun.
America.
No, it's not a board game, but it's played on like a cardboard piece of...
We're going back to the story here, right? So Fantasy was not the most socially...
like most players.
Yeah, he wasn't the most socially sound person at the time. You know, he's kind of grown out of that. He was still quite young at this point. And he didn't quite understand how to make a cheese sandwich. So, yeah.
What's a cheese sandwich?
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally just cheese on 2 pieces of bread.
Yeah, see, you'd think that'd be quite simple, but no. Fantasy was confounded by this. And he went up to people asking, can you help me make a cheese sandwich? And at the end, he didn't find anyone willing to, because I guess everyone assumed he was trolling the hell out of them. So he had to eat the cheese separately and then have a slice of bread, because he was baffled as to how to make a cheese sandwich.
What?
There you go, ladies and gents. There's a story about Mark Fantasy Penny for you. Asking about just taking a massive bite out of like a slab of cheese. So, yeah.
I mean, I thought you put
These
like
are my
some sort of
people.
sauce on it or something. Like,
No.
I remember back in the States, I used to actually, out of nowhere, I made a sandwich. It was a slice of bread, piece of cheese. It was Dijon mustard.
Yeah,
But
Dijon mustard.
yeah, but it's not like sweet mustard. It's a different kind of Dijon that we have in America, I think.
Is it like the darker?
Yeah. It's
like
like Grey
quite
Poupon.
dark.
Grey Poupon. Sorry.
I don't know that
Grey
one.
Poupon. That's what it was. And then another piece of bread. I don't know where I
Okay.
got the craving for it. Had it. Was amazing.
Okay.
Yep. I don't know why that's relevant to this. But it looks like we will be going live. And my PC has loaded the game in and yours hasn't.
Well, mine's on a black screen right now, so your PC's doing a lot more than mine is. Just overall. Battlefield has stopped working. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. If we have a little bit more downtime later on, I have something funny to tell you
Oh, good.
that I
always goes
learned
well.
a couple days ago.
Okay, we have story time with Jason, but why don't you take us into this one while I fix Battlefield?
Oh, well, it's so weird having my PC in, but, you know. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to have Epsilon over on the Chinese side like you were saying before. Eyeball is going to be over the Russian side. And you were saying, you know, Eyeballs, if they get that 2-1 hold early on, we actually might see some good things from coming out in this map. And I wanted to point out that, you know, to me, I wasn't 100% convinced on them being able to hold down a flag, but obviously it was very early on in the game. Maybe they're just warming up. But right now we see Zinx going around the backside here, trying to catch off Epsilon from this little bit of a flake that they're going for. He's going to catch Jerry right here, and that's going to be a nice entry kill coming in. And that does give him that ability to go for that two-cap hold. And now Duke, he's even pushing in through the backside of A here. He's actually going to spot one man there, and we're going to see that 1-4 trade go over to none other than Kawa. His aim seems to have gotten a little bit better today, and that does maintain A, and that does give him a nice early lead here. But as you can see on the map, Eyeballers don't have really anyone inside of this B flag right now, and they're going to get flanked on the backside here by the rest of Epsilon. And Smasher, he's the only man to really hold on to this. I'm not sure if he can pull off a 1v3 yet again, as he does pick up one kill. C is going to be capped over, it looks like, for Eyeballers, but he does get taken down, and that will mean we're going to have Epsilon take control of B, and it looks like they're going to be able to maintain control of C as well. But Akash, he's going to drop down. He knows the flag's being capped, and this is one thing that we both kind of didn't really 100% agree on when we saw this played, I think it was by Exacquio, just kind of sitting on top of the building, not trying to go for the counter cap or not trying to get, kill the guy on the cap, just sit there passively.
Yeah, so Akash clearly doing well with it, though. He's making it count, taking down Smashy there, but looking for a little bit more. C is going back and forth. I'm slowly joining. You can see my lovely picture of a pug with a hood on. It's awesome.
I hate bugs.
Screw you. We are going to see a trip cap going out for Epsilon this time. So Eyeballers, not looking good.
They're not, and that's kind of what we saw. You know, unfortunately, Epsilon did to them last time, and they had a strong start. They got the picks they need to really early on. Jera, he knows he's dead for that one. He's going to keep climbing up that ladder as Cow picks up that one, but they had the early 2-1 hold, but the thing that was really confusing to me is, and there's the aim you were talking about earlier on. But they didn't back up B. They had one man there, Smash, who defended against the 3-man of Epsilon, who pushed straight into it, and from that, they lost control of B. Then they kind of tried to push into counter cap. It got killed off as well, and then Epsilon just got the tri-cap off of them. But right now, you're seeing Sit. Looks like he's going to get the back cap on a C here. Akash going to be on top of that building with Horik as well. Looks like they might drop in here momentarily here to defend against it. As you do see Horik dropping straight in, does pick up that early kill, and actually going to be able to maintain hold of C for, well, not just yet, because it actually still is halfway being capped over, but he's going to get the kill onto Sid, I believe that was, and that will open the cap open for C for Epsilon. So they will have that 2-1 hold back again. And remember, the ticket threshold that we're looking at is 36.
Yeah, and the thing to my eyes that maybe, you know, you agree with or not, I'm not sure, but it seems that Eyeballers never have a backup plan. All these teams that I watch always seem to have that kind of contingency plan here, and these guys just kind of go all in or don't. So we are seeing that B push coming out. Finally, they do seem to hear me or just kind of ignore me completely. Koa going on a little bit of a walkabout all the way around the back, probably waiting on those respawns if needed, but they've left A completely open if that's the case. You know, if they don't lose, you know, win this one-on-ones at B, they're going to be completely open for another trip cap coming through here, because to be fair, Koa is being challenged down and being found out. And at the moment, Smashu, Zinx, and Grovol are pretty far out of the actual A site as well. Sid is going back in, so You know, they can get to work now, but the damage is being done. This 2-to-1 hold is costing them a hell of a lot of tickets. Going in dribs and drabs is not helping. They're now making the push. Sit pushes in, does find the kill onto Jera. Now look at Horik on the rotate, though. He could get some fantastic respawns on him and come back in force for Epsilon. They're doing just that. Fire comes through. Nice little back spawn for Zinx, though. Could catch the rest of them, spot them out if needs must. And they're going to get the 2-to-1 cap, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to hold this.
Yeah, that's the thing, and you kind of just talked about it, about, you know, having a backup plan. Is that for me, eyeballers, they're like playing in the heat of the moment, but they're not thinking a step ahead. Like, okay, if we do get this objective, what do we do off the back of that? Like, what are we going to do next? Like, what's our next move? And they're unfortunately not really kind of having that plan right now. They just kind of stick to what's happening in the present. And Epsilon are completely able to take advantage of that right now. They do have that 105-93 ticket lead. And you do see Horik kind of sitting inside B, going to spot out Xenix. Not going to pick up the kill just yet, though. And there it is eventually. And right now, if you look at the kills, I mean, it's generally even, but Epsilon are up 28-20, and that was kind of different from what we saw in that first half, where Eyeballs were actually leading in kills.
Yeah, and Eyeballs are still making their push on towards B. They've actually won this out, and look at those spawns all the way back for Epsilon. They're now stuck down towards C. Already Slit is in a little bit of trouble. He's been spotted out there, just trying to dodge those bullets, but it's buying time, and that's all they need. They finally have someone actually defending the A side, which is Zinx. So if you just sit safe here, he's in a great spot just to hold that one down. And you can see the rest of Epsilon now looking to do a little bit of a split. Maybe start pushing towards B, but mostly focusing A. Zinx needs to come up big this time. He needs to make sure these shots land. Otherwise, his side may lose out on this A site. And that is trouble now. There's no one there to back him up. The closest player is Smashu is still worried about B, but they're looking to take over C.
And this is the area that Smashu really held on to phenomenally earlier on in that first half. This little bit of a stairway that he's actually currently playing on, but there's no one actually coming in this direction, so he's going to be pretty much there for nothing. And we're seeing one-man Horik push out the backside of C here, picks up one kill. You can look for the second one here, look for the cap over onto it as well, and give him that 2-to-1 lead. But Sit actually pushes him, gets aggressive, gets the kill, and that should be C back in favor of Eyeballers. But now B's being attacked at the same time, and this is what I was saying before. It's kind of like they're just playing in the heat of the moment. They just kind of react to what's happening currently, and they're not really thinking ahead because they sent everyone they possibly had over towards C, left B completely open, and they're having a B swap come in.
Yeah, but this is a nice spawn for Zinx here. He could get himself towards the A site completely and utterly untouched, but they need to make sure they convert one other here. At the moment, they've actually lost out into that trip cap, and let's bear in mind, 36 tickets is the threshold. If they go below that, they're already losing out on the first map, which is not ideal, obviously. Here come the respawns with Eyeballers towards A. They're going to look to take over the A site, but they're once again really roped down to this. They only have this all in charge. They may send one player around the long road, but it's not quick enough to get you these points in the bag. 62 tickets left is not a great deal. And well, I think we're already seeing that effect in full effect, as Koa not going for the long road around, now trying to go straight through the middle, and a bit of trouble there, and actually they're not getting the B site penetration that they really want.
And I feel like we're finally seeing a team use these buildings to their utmost potential. I mean, Akash, he just sits on top. He watches all of outside completely, and also watches the C flag. And from that, it allows no one at Eyeballs to kind of get that flank from that side, so you can actually be caught from the back. If anyone, it's just towards B, but he usually has men there already at B defending against that push either way. So he kind of has that sentry position in this little bit of a courtyard here, and it's really been holding down very well for them. But Eyeballs looks like they're going to be able to take B back here in just a second, and they kind of have to because 44 tickets remaining. 36 is that threshold, and they're very close to it.
Yeah, this is do or die now. 80 tickets is not impossible, but it's certainly a big ask now for these guys. Duke is pushing in with Jera towards B. They're picking up the kills. Now just Smashu and Koa stand in their way. So B is going back and forth now between these guys. 43 tickets. It's not a lot. It's not a long way through, and they're certainly worrying about this now. You're seeing the split going up from Sit and Grovel making their way towards that C side, but they're also leaving A quite vulnerable, and Jera is not going to let that chance and turn it down. So he's going to be pushing up by his lonesome. He might get challenged down by Zinx, who's played it carefully, but he's actually let him slip, and that is real trouble. 42 tickets. They've got the trip cap for now, and they've won that one-on-one, so they could hold on to at least a 2-for-1 for a couple more seconds.
They can, but the thing is, every single death that they go into at this point is just so devastating to their score. I mean, they're sitting on 40 tickets now, and every time Epsilon pick up a kill, if the other team doesn't get that revive, you're going to need that man in if you need to hold on to this tri-cap or at least 2-to-1 hold. And right now, B is being capped over in favor of Eyeballs. Going to be able to maintain that one for a little bit longer. C, getting the respawns in coming from Epsilon. They're going to be coming from the side here, but they kind of realize we have 50 tickets to play with. The other team has 3. All we need is those 3 more kills. Don't let them get the revives, and we have this game.
Yeah, and here we go. First kill's coming in. We are seeing Grovall doing work, but the damage is being done. They've only got a couple more tickets to play with. B is being capped over 44 for the opposition. But as we said, if Eyeballers drop below that 36 ticket threshold, they are done and dusted. Sick comes in at the perfect time. He could get the revive here. They've gone for one respawn. They are now on 36. There's 35. It was too little, too late. And Eyeballers just couldn't quite do it in the end then.
Yeah, they couldn't. They had a little bit of a charge coming in towards the later part of the game, but that's exactly what happened in the first half, and you can't really afford to do that when you're already behind in that first half and you have that 36 tickets to really play around with. Really unfortunate, but it does give me hopes coming into this next map on Operation Locker.
It certainly does, and if Smashu can repeat what he did just then, sitting on 15-8, they could do pretty well here. It's hard to have an individual breakout player on maps like this, as there's so much ground to cover when you're just doing infantry only, obviously. It's not exactly you can go from A to C unnoticed in this one. But obviously they're going to play this out probably just to warm up, make sure everything's ready, because I believe Epsilon actually just dropped a player, or they're reconnecting, something along those lines. And what is the next map? Oh, it's going to be Locker, actually. And speaking to Koa, he did say they've actually been able to take down Fnatic on this map, but they also have lost to a lot of other teams. So their up and down performance is fairly acceptable, considering they are still a mixed team in essence. But they got this game quite close. This is not a one-sided game at all.
Yeah, I mean, not many teams can say they take an Epsilon that low in tickets on this map. I mean, Epsilon are pretty much undefeated on it now, going 4 for 4.
Yes.
I don't know, the Operation Locker, that's a tricky one. I feel like Epsilon, I feel like you have to be a team that has a plan once you make some sort of move, you know, into the next stage of the game. And that's what we're kind of talking about with Eyeballers. They don't have a redundancy plan. They kind of just go all out for something. If that fails, they're like, well, crap, now what do we do? They also just make a move for something else. They don't have the plan of if we do cap it or if we do go in at the same time kind of thing.
Yep.
I don't know if Operation Locker is really the map that's going to work out for them, but this is Epsilon's choice here, and they're already up 1 map to 0.
Yeah, they're looking good, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to judge how teams are because we don't know how good Eyeballers are either. They've both got their own kind of unique standpoints and certainly their own strengths, but it's very hard to judge, and obviously we'll find out through the bracket as it's coming today. Very close game in the other half, I believe 1 or 2 ticket difference to my understanding. So very close stuff. These guys, obviously, let's bear in mind, these guys have the highest difference. Eyeballers were in 15th place qualifying towards this, and Epsilon in 3rd. But with all the changes to Eyeballers, I think it was worth at least watching them into this stage. And GC Esports and Planet Key, 7th and 9th, probably the closest we could have get. But, you know, I like seeing teams who could do well. You know what I mean? I like seeing where the potential may lay. And, you know, these guys certainly have that. But whether or not they can really pull it together is quite hard to see. And obviously, you've got to understand that when people, you know, qualifying in 16th qualify through to the offline finals here.
And you said that there's a 1 or 2 ticket difference in the Gamers Connection versus Planet Key Dynamics game. It literally was.
Really?
First round, 8-0 in tickets for Gamers Connection. Second, 9-0 for Planet Key Dynamics. Like that came down to the wire.
Wow.
And Planet Key Dynamics came out with that first map victory.
Wow.
That's
unbelievably close.
It's a lot closer than the game that we did.
Yeah, but I think considering or comparing to, let's say, some of the other groups, this is a lot closer. All around, because normally it'd be stomp, and then it kind of dribbles on. But we can go into Operation Locker now and obviously wait for the teams to join up. We can take you through what we expect to see and kind of the key factors to this map, because I think the games we watched yesterday weren't maybe the biggest selling points of what we can get on this one, because, you know, they kind of negated that C presence, which was quite surprising when we watched those 2 teams go at it yesterday. And we, you know, the likes of Fnatic never forget of that. Even UMAV generally keep it in tow. But the matches we saw on this weren't maybe that conducive to a good Operation Locker. But I feel we'll be getting a good showing of this map out of these 2 teams.
Yeah, I remember that. And it was just kind of like a let's cap C, that every team leave it alone and just kind of brute force A and B at the same time. And I don't know. I mean, Eyeballers, like I said before, this is the map that they really impressed us on back when they were the original team, back before even the EMS1 series began. And I'm not sure, because Operation Locker is one of those maps that you need a lot of synergy between your team, and being a fresh team in some sense, you know, with a new man on the team, it can be very, very difficult to pull off.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. I think they've actually got 2 new players. Which makes it even harder. Yeah. I believe when they first got into the EMS, they had this great idea to do really well, and then they kind of struggled a little bit or maybe lost some motivation, hence why they brought in 2 new players. So hopefully they can pull themselves together of the reigning lineup who clearly do want to stick this one out. But I think everyone's in. Yes, they are. So on the US side, it will be Eyeballers. And for the Russian side, it'll be Epsilon, who currently have the map advantage, 150 tickets each, infantry only, and it's simple as that. Domination. You don't need much more information than that one. But at the start, what to expect? I'd say Epsilon in the better position here to pick up the A site, especially.
I would hope so.
Yeah, exactly. A site is pretty much gifted theirs. I think they'll be sending 2 men outside to defend C. Maybe put one player to mostly push through towards mid and then put pressure on. But maybe they're going to go for the all-out aggression down towards B. But I think the safety play is 2 out towards C, and the rest kind of splitting through mid.
Well, looks like they're actually going to be going for that here. And over on the other side of Eyeballs, we have 3 men kind of working towards middle, just kind of hold down this little bit of a middle alleyway. And we do have Zynex actually pushing straight outside, looking for that cap on a C right here. Doesn't have any backup. And there's going to be 2 men on Epsilon to really stop him and lock him down here. He's actually dodging the bullets for the most part here. Actually get taken out eventually by Horik. That does let them know that there's 2 outside, and that should allow the rest of Eyeballs to push in towards A, and they've done that. They're going to be able to cap over A here and lock this one down. Yeah,
that was brilliant play. Just brute forcing their way through. They know where the rest of the team are. The likes of Sit and Smashu both eyeing up where the push is about to come from Epsilon. Akosh not too far away, and they are getting themselves a little bit surrounded. Secret, aka Koa, will be in a very pivotal role if he does catch this one other player making their way forward. He's gone down, and now we are going to see the A brawl come to effect, as now just Grobel is the last man really standing on A. He's got 1 respawn on him. They need to get this kill in the bag and make it quick. He's got the exchange. That'll do for now. And you're seeing that C exchange going through as well. That's going to possibly be picked up by Eyeballers until we saw that 1-man band of Duke deny it. But look at that respawn on A. They want to keep this one.
And they're going to fight for it here. And Epsilon, with the help of Horik coming from the backside, does get the kill on a Smasher. That does open us up. He does see Sit right there. Look for the kill. Does get him. We do have Ivar still committing a lot of respawns as well. A lot of resources to lock this one down. And now Epsilon are kind of closing in on this from all different directions. Akosh trying to push in through this little bit of a corridor here, but he eventually does fall here. And Ivar's have maintained this 2-flag hold here. And you're finally seeing Epsilon get this very far back spawn on the B here. And they will be able to lock down B, will be able to maintain control of C a little bit longer. And they will finally get that 2-to-1 cap for themselves.
Really good play coming out from Horik there on the early rotate towards the outside section, knowing that Eyeballers will be going for that C cross, and he has picked up 1, going to be exchanged in the end with Slit, but maybe they can hold on to A here. They're going to get their respawns towards that section, actually going for the C respawn to make sure they pick up at least a 2-to-1. So they're not playing fully defensive. They seem to have their plans in kind of order now. The exchange on C will be going through, but A is the main area. We are seeing those guys making their final move in now. The cap is going over towards Epsilon, and we do see Smashu finally falling. That will be going to the hands of Epsilon, the Russian side. So they'll be picking up the 2-to-1 cap right now, as C will be the last standing bastion for Eyeballers, but they have a good shot on picking up B.
They definitely do. I mean, they have the spawns in to make this happen. They do get the kill on a Duke, so he does fall down as well. We do have 2 men out of Epsilon working out towards the C side. You're seeing 2 men of Eyeballers kind of respawn at the same time, but it's so hard to penetrate onto A here when you have a team set up inside of it. And Epsilon, they are a hard team to do that too, whether or not they're set up for it, and they are already in position ready for this to happen. And real question is, though, where are they going to push on to C? Are they going to push on to B? They need to cap another flag over soon, and they're getting the respawns over onto David here. Looks like he's actually going to flank out around to C here, and he actually might be able to catch out Grossel, and he does get him, and that should open up C. If he can even keep pushing into this, might even pick up another.
Yeah, he certainly could. Zinx is the man trying to defend that one, and they're going to have to start making their push towards A. Breaking through there up the stairwell, taking down Duke. They've got a good opening, good footing here. David just prowling around outside. There's nothing there to really challenge because Eyeballers broke through mid. Smashu and Sit now making their way forward. Should be able to catch these guys out. They've got the straight exchange. That was not ideal, but Smashu's still there. Should be able to make this one count. He's going to go for the revive rather than the flat-out fight, and he's going to be able to dodge the bullets long enough to allow teammates to come around the sport. Zinx is there as well. Finally, the sport is coming in for Epsilon, but they need to make this one count pretty damn quickly. Nice little cleanup coming from Eyeballers. Picking up the C site. There's 1 man trying to hold them back, which is Jera, but at the moment, beautiful play from Jera. If he takes down Sit, he could secure this by himself, but I don't think he expects it. That's going to be a 2-man pickup. Surely no! Sit goes down eventually. The respawn of Horik eventually came into effect, and now Zinx needs to get himself out here very, very quickly to deny that C-cross.
And now we're seeing Grossfold coming through A. He's actually getting into the backside, but gets taken down immediately as he pushes into that. And I'm really not sure with that push on a C exactly why. We saw Eyeballers commit so many people outside to cap that over. They sent 3, even 4 in the end to really lock that one down. If anything, they just lost out on it. But right now, they do get the trade they need to on a C. They're going to be able to lock this one down here potentially. But Epsilon get a perfect spawn right in the middle of the map here. They can attack B. They can attack C if they want to. And you're seeing them kind of decide where they want to go here. And Smasher, it's all about him. Can he actually rotate toward B and maybe pick up the kill that he needs to hold on to that one? Or are they going to lose out on it, maybe even get tri-capped here?
I don't think they're going to get tri-capped. They'll hold on to A. And I think the really smart play coming from Zinx there is just being defensive on C for now. keeping that one in their pocket. So they're going to get the 2-1, and they're a good spot to hold mid as long as they keep their eyes open. Akos may have just slipped across, getting those respawns in. That is dangerous down that side of A. A is now in trouble. They could go for the flat split round the back towards C, but I think they want to get the A site in their pockets, and they're in a good position to make this one count. Smashu, though, peeking out at the best of times, doing the damage. Jera's going to feel the brunt of that as well, as we are seeing a beautiful hold now coming out from Eyeballers, who are set up and finally in the lead with tickets.
And Duke's going to be pushing through the infirmary side. Does actually pick up 3 kills right there. Does lock that one down. They're going to get a hold of A here. And they have back spawns and B at the same time. So Jerry's going to rush into that one. He's going to stop Xenix and potentially Kawa from getting in towards this. And they're going to get the take a lead back for themselves here, at least for a little bit right now. And we can take a look at the kills. It's currently dead even across the teams. 33 kills apiece here. And it really shows that both these teams are really stepping up here. And Eyeballers want to give them some credit. Be able to pull a lead against Epsilon on this map is very, very tough. But they're making it look pretty easy.
Yeah, and big exchange going down on that seaside right there. Duke, I believe, went down to Koa. It was actually Jera who went down to Koa, so they're going to hold that 2-1, but a big push coming out from Epsilon, pushing through mid, looking to pincer in the 2 players on C. Smashu and Ziggs are now in trouble. They're winning out the one-on-ones, but now it is down to a one-on-one, and that's been won out by Epsilon. They should be able to lay claim to this, and then they can get set up in the ideal position here. C and A, lock down mid, don't overextend, and get the tickets back in your favor.
It really feels like both teams haven't had the ability to kind of set up exactly how they want to. It seems like there's been a lot of action across the board between them, a lot of fighting breaking out as well, and it's just so weird to be able to see a team not be able to set up in time. And you can kind of understand, just considering how both of them are playing this out, being so aggressive, pushing in constantly, nonstop, and picking up the kills. But you can see, I mean, do you ever typically see 2 or 3 men push outside on a C? It's usually just a 1-man push, just a challenge to see if anyone's still really watching it.
I think it's the right idea. They're being aggressive enough to generally keep Epsilon back down that side alley, but now they've applied the pressure, but not kind of put it down mid. They put it completely out towards C. They've allowed the rotate around the back. Generally, when they have players like Grovel watching it through mid, they're in a fantastic spot. But if they don't have that backup there, they're in a, they lose out, and it's as simple as that. I don't mind their play at all towards C. Normally it goes wrong because you don't have people to hold mid. And I think finally, Epsilon are realizing that, and they're just going to push around the back of them and just get that rotate play going and making it really hurt. And you're seeing it in the tickets now. They've not been able to pick up that C side. They're going to go for an all-in towards A, it seems, leaving only 1 man out towards C. But actually going for the split. Nice setup this time, but Duke is in a good position to spot out a good couple of players, laying down the fire, spots down one by that corrugate, the iron grates there, but does finally go down. That was Grovel. But C should be going over towards Eyeballers. They're playing this well. I like the way they're playing. They're focusing on, undoing the crossfires set up by Epsilon, and they're making it hurt. But they need to be quicker on it almost. They're going to lose out on B because they didn't capitalize on the fact they broke down of that, broke through the A alley, and now they're in trouble.
But are they able to cap A off this as well? There's still 2 or 3 men inside of A currently there from Epsilon to defend against it. And Grossful, he's going to give his chance here as he pushes in. Does spot Akash right there. He's forced to back away, getting very low on health. And right now you see just Epsilon. They're swarming all over A right now. They're backing stuff. They're defending against it quite well. And no one on Eyeball is actually going for a cap on a B just yet. And it looks like Xanax, maybe he's listening on the cast here as he actually does start to push in towards B. He's going to actually get there undefended. And he's going to be able to cap this one over.
This could be a trip cap coming out as well, because he's there quick enough that may be able to deny the respawn to the likes of Duke. They're holding onto A with that 3-man stack there. Grovel doing real damage down the corridor. There's that trip cap coming in. This should even up those tickets quite quickly. They're going to get B back, but they must hold on to A, and I think they've just about done that. The respawns that are going to come in for Epsilon will be down by B. If they get set up quickly enough to deny that mid-cross, they're going to hold a 2-1 here.
Oh, you're seeing Duke pick up a nice little bit of a kill right there. Going to be pushing to A here all by himself. I'm not sure if he agree or if I really agree with that. Maybe he needs some backup here. He's kind of forcing this in, but he's making it work so far. Staying alive, eating a lot of grenades right there, and it allows the rest of his team to push in through the other side of middle, get this flanker run on A here, and really become a nuisance. And right now, you're seeing Horik trying to play that little bit of a floater run out, trying to get the cap on a C here. Does pick up a nice kill, and I believe there's going to be 1 man there as well to defend against C. Is he going to spot him out here? Is he going to pick up the kill, or is he going to go down? This could be huge if he gets this here, and just see the other team's just playing with him. He gets a kill in a Grossville. He's going to get the cap over to C, and that does give him that 2-1 hold back. But Xenix, he has a completely perfect spawn coming in from the back. They might even get a tri-cap off this for a little bit. Actually, no, they won't. Sorry, wrong colors. But David does get taken down, and they're going to go straight for C here to cap this one back.
Yeah, really smart play. Very quick rotates this time. They're going to go straight out for C. I'm hoping they haven't left A2 open. They're depending on Koa and Smashu to really create a perfect crossfire and deny any entrance, because C is going over towards Eyeballers, B as well, and A is already in their hands. This is going to be the trip cap. If they get B in time, they've done it. They've held enough time here. The tickets are all even, and they're in a slightly better setup to hold this 2-1. They should be denying that B respawn with sitting there, and C is their only option now coming in for the Epsilon side. They've been completely duped here, and they're left out in the cold.
And they're going to lose out on pretty much all their tickets right here, too, because they have maybe one final push in them. And they're looking at going to the second half actually behind right now. Obviously, it's not going to be that many tickets, but Eyeballs, I think Kawa is definitely showing his presence within the teams in terms of, you know, organizing how the spawns work and trying to figure out and trying to think ahead in terms of where can we control them, where can we force them to spawn in, and where can we hold out against them. And you're seeing Epsilon, they're going for a push on A. They're going to be able to lock this one down. But right now, you see C being capped right on them immediately. They're getting back capped here, and this is going to be Iowa's coming out of the first half with a lead.
Yeah, but look at B. B could go the other way. They could really work down a good couple of tickets, walking away with this 2-1. Unless they win this A exchange, they're going to be challenging out on both. Tickets are going to get low here. 5 are left for Epsilon, and they're fighting for every single one. They're going to pick up B. They're going to maybe hold down A, but 4 tickets left. They've got to make this one count, and they should get the 2-1 here in just about time. But respawns now are a huge factor. They're going to try and work away as many tickets as possible from Eyeballers. They're going to get a couple or more, but B and C are firmly now in Eyeballers' hands. This should be the 2-1 hold. 16 tickets should be the limit that they get to. Really well played from Eyeballers towards the end then.
Gotta give him credit. That's a hard map to take against Epsilon, who's been able to beat the likes of Fnatic and I believe even Dignitas on this map. I'm just concerned though if they can do this again on the second half, because they obviously showed a lot of class being able to pull it off. It took them a while though to get the kind of hold that they wanted to really work off so many tickets off of Epsilon, but Epsilon's going to be on the other side here, and we saw them actually get shut out in the beginning, which was a little bit unusual against Eyeballers here. I don't know. I don't think this game's over just yet. I think this could still go Epsilon's way if they kind of just regroup here and kind of think what went wrong. I mean, you see Duke, 21-11, 16-10 Horic. They had phenomenal kills for themselves, and we're seeing Kawa 19-12, and then you're seeing the rest of the team basically not with much of a positive KDA. Smash you 14-13, 13-12, 14-13. It's going to be very tough. I think they're very evenly matched here. This is a really good game to start the day off with.
Yeah, it definitely is. And the thing for me is Eyeballers were not one individual. They weren't one guy. They weren't Duke going big. Every single player was pulling their weight. Koa and Smashu holding A on their own was phenomenal. The other players splitting out B, one man going towards C. They played that really nicely. And the way they played that just then was the perfect style for them. If they can replicate that, brilliant. But 16 tickets is not a lot.
It's not.
Let's remember, this is Epsilon they're playing, one of the best teams within the league so far. Credit to Eyeballers for getting this far. If they can put up a performance like this against someone who's sitting in third position out of the rankings, phenomenal. But you got to look at the other teams in this. They're going to be watching this going, oh my god, these guys have just taken. They could take them to a third map and potentially win this. That spells real trouble for the other teams who are playing a very close game right now. But we are almost ready to go live, I do believe. So Epsilon will be starting on the US side. The Russian side will be Eyeballers. And you've got to bear in mind now, if Epsilon, who are on the US side, on the top left of your screen, drop below 16 tickets, this map will be Eyeballers.
It's funny because even if we do go to a map number 3, it's going to be even more even across the board in terms of, Eyeballers are 2 for 3 on Zava. Epsilon are 3 for 4.
Everyone loves Thor.
Everyone does. He's really handsome. But it's going to be very tough. And right now, Eyeballers, they have to lock down this victory here on this map to take it to map number 3. And Epsilon obviously looking for that 2-0 shutout right now. And we're going to see David push straight into A here. He's actually going to get spotted. Going to get taken down. That would have been huge if he could have picked up that kill. And you're seeing Eyeballers commit 3 men towards the outside. And Epsilon responding immediately by sending 3 towards A.
Yeah, Epsilon called the bluff then. We saw Eyeballers kind of playing a little bit gutsy, going 3 men out towards C, looking for the quick rotate. But they underestimated how much Epsilon were going to put in towards picking up that A side. So it will be a 2-1 hold in favor to Epsilon, who made it really count with that 3-man stack towards the A side rather than splitting slowly out towards C. They are in a good spot here. If they keep picking up these kills, keep doing the damage, they'll do very well. They just need to play it smart, play it carefully, and not let anyone break through. We are seeing a good split coming in from Eyeballers down towards B. But let's see if Eyeballers can actually hold on to the push out on C, because at the moment they've got 3 men to worry about.
You see Duke, he's actually heading towards B right now, looking for the kill. Actually gets on a Zynex. That might have opened up a potential defensive play out of him here, and he's going to maybe commit a little bit more time there. Actually, he's kind of backing away, waiting for maybe a little bit of reposition, maybe a couple of backup from his team. And you see them actually kind of go straight for C with a little bit of distraction that Duke was able to put out towards B and neutralize it. C's going to be gone. They're going to get the 2-cap back here, and they're going to have great positioning to defend against a push that will come out of Eyeballers.
Yeah.
Well, Duke, sorry, he's not actually spotted. Like, he's still providing distraction right now, eventually kind of capping that with points every once in a while, picking up kills from the backside like that. And he's committing 2 more people out to defend against him. This is an amazing job by Duke.
Yeah, really well played by him. Just as you mentioned, being a pest, just doing the damage when he needs to. And he's keeping the attention of a good couple of the Eyeballers players who've just been brute forced out of this game so far. It seems that Epsilon have had a bit of a rude awakening, and Eyeballers have yet to be able to find their feet and pick up the ideal sites. They're finally going to pick up C, but B is already being lost by the man you called out a little bit earlier. And we're going to see if Eyeballers can actually turn this one around, because their backs are now to the wall. They've got a good respawn to pick up B, but I doubt they'll hold the C site.
And Duke is still alive. Okay, damn it. I just had to say that. He was still alive over towards B and still distracted him, eventually capped over for themselves. And even with that, actually gets the respawns back there, gets it so Epsilon can cap over to C again. And they're going to still maintain this 2-1 hold. And we haven't seen Eyeballers actually pick up a 2-1 hold yet so far in this half. And it's going to get very dangerous very soon because the tickets will start to get even further ahead for Epsilon. They're going to bleed them out a little bit more. And that 16-ticket threshold is becoming more and more likely right now. As you see David pick up a nice 2 kills towards A. Actually might be enough to push Eyeballers off of A by himself. But the respawn's coming from the backside. They're actually going to just cap over to B. And it seems like Epsilon, like you said before, Rude Awakening, they seem to be playing completely different, like a completely different team right now. And they're making it work for them. 139 to 104 tickets is a good lead.
Yeah, they've had to kind of speed up their game almost. Those fast rotates that were really working for Eyeballers now kind of leave Eyeballers a little bit too thin on these sites, because now they're playing against a team who are doing just the same thing. There's no easy, 2v1s coming towards them. They're having to fight for everything they've got. So A was in their hands. They could lose out to this because they've got 1 player spreading through. B is going to go down to a flat-out exchange between Akosh and Sit, and A is completely up for the taking. Jera's going to claim that one, and C, not looking great either.
Who's going to pull off this 1v1, though? Sit's still waiting right by that side. He actually does get flanked in. He does actually run straight away here, realizing that maybe we should go for that push on A, and they're not going to have that undefended right now, so a very smart call out of him. Epsilon, they're going to get the cap on the B here. They're going to have a tri-cap here for just a moment, and I wonder if Duke can get outside on a C quick enough to stop this cap coming out of Xenix. Either way, they're trying to get this push in. There's this pincer move coming onto A here, and right now, I wasn't able to defend against it.
Yeah, Eyeballers, they were trying to defend it, but we are seeing that brute force breakout play coming in from Epsilon, just charging in towards that A side, turning it over and picking it up for themselves. And already they've got a player going straight back towards B, which will be Duke, just to make sure no one's getting an easy cap out of this. And it's that 2-1 hold. Epsilon are looking really good here. They look like they've stepped it up a gear. I just want to see what they can bring now. It's the next step for these guys. Eyeballers were playing out of their skin earlier on, but how many times can you step up that far? How much more can you give when they're losing out on every single front? They're down to 75 tickets already, and they're possibly being trip-capped again.
I mean, just look at the kills. 34 to 17. That's all you really have to say about this. I mean, we talked about yesterday, being able to... Oh, my God, David, picking up nice 2 kills right there, but being able to just... aim isn't really enough in this game, and right now, I mean, that's all really Epsilon needs to really work with, because they've been able to pull this off so damn well. They have the 2-cap still, and they just seem to be reading exactly where Eyeballers are going every single time. I mean, you see them already rotating over towards A, and they're going to be able to defend this one as well.
Yeah, they certainly are, but we're going to see if Eyeballers can break through this time. They've got a good couple of members here present. They're outnumbering the opponents, and they're going to win the one-on-one. So A will be going their way, but that's also going to possibly give away that B site. So, these fast rotates, that kind of big stacking play coming out from Eyeballers was working before, but now it's working against them. They're too quick on the rotate almost. They're kind of negating the sites they had in hand, and they're giving it away. And Epsilon is just going to pick those up and go, okay, we'll fight you out on A, but if we lose out, that's fine. We'll pick up the sites we want. And, right now we are seeing a good setup once again coming in for Epsilon, making sure A's going in their favor as well. They're going to hold on to B. They may lose C, but they should get A.
And they're going to maintain that 2-1 hold. And this just seems the Eyeballers have no response for this. They're struggling to pick up the kills. They're struggling to, like I said, rotate around at the appropriate times. And they're getting caught off guard left and right here. Sit, though, picking up 2 big kills right there over towards A does potentially stop Hork and the rest of Epsilon from cap this over. But no, the respawns come in just in time. And they're able to hold on for just a little bit longer. Smash U finally cleans that one up here. But really, at what cost? We do have Eyeballers finally getting that 2-1 cap for themselves after such a long amount of time here. But with 41 tickets remaining, it's not looking too good. Remember, they have to drop to 0, though, with Epsilon maintaining a 16 ticket or above lead. And right now, it's looking like that's going to happen.
Yeah, it certainly does. Epsilon playing very well, certainly in the better positions. Look at Akosh's play at this moment. He's coming around right behind the opponents. He's played it well, he's played it carefully, and he's going to get the kills in the bag. Really nicely done. They're going to hold on towards C. They've lost out on A, but they can easily play retake here with the positions they're in. One-man split towards B, 40 tickets left. It's a 2-1 hold currently in favor to Eyeballers, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get trip capped off the back of this.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. And we're seeing B actually be capped over for Epsilon during this. And we're seeing Duke hold one man down inside that little bit of a jail cell right there they've been able to build up for him. And you're seeing A be pushed in by Epsilon as well at the same time. So that tri-cap's becoming more and more likely. Yeah, Smash the last man in the squad right now. 36 tickets remaining. It's getting very close. The tri-cap is going to come into effect right now. And Epsilon, fantastic play out of them, but we do have a nice respawn coming from Eyeballers in the backside. They could pull off a nice split here if they can cap B and C at the same time and really start to get some tickets back in their own favor, but their tickets are just bleeding away.
Yeah, they really are. That trip cap has just made it hurt even longer. And there's no easy mid-cross, there's no easy push. David not actually being able to hold the mid-cross there, so Horik could be in trouble. He's got a horde of players coming towards him. He's picked up one, gonna lose out in the end to Smashu. But there is a player away in defense. 19 tickets is not enough, really, for Eyeballers to do what they want here. Their gameplay is quite fast and loose anyway. They'll generally do quick rotates, which can cost you a couple of tickets here and there, but overall, you can make it stick. But 12 left is not enough. These guys are in trouble. It's desperation plays now.
Xenix, though, getting a nice little bit of a flank coming out there. Does pick up one kill. Look for a second. Akash was able to turn around and pick that one up. I wonder if Akash can pick up the next one after that. Actually does get taken down, but A tickets now. They are able to really cap anything over just yet, and they might be able to get the cap over to A right here if Horik can't hold on to this, but it's still a little bit too late. He actually picks up the kill, so it doesn't matter in the end. 3 tickets now to go here, and it looks like Eyeballers will actually drop down into the loser's bracket, and we see Epsilon advance on into the winner's bracket finals.
Yeah, brilliant play, however, from both sides. I feel that, you know, Eyeballers really did well in that first half. Like, they showed up, like, 100% then, and they really showed what they were made of, but then it got turned over. They didn't get the setup they wanted within the first minute or two, and they could never break back in. Epsilon just brute forced their way in. And the initial play that Epsilon came out with, not going for the C challenge, going, okay, we'll pick up B, and then just take you on at A. We aren't afraid to, you know, one-on-one you now. We can win these, and they did. And that's as simple as it was in the end of the day. As soon as you pushed Eyeballers out of their comfort zone, I feel, they kind of struggled a bit there, and they never quite found their way back in. You know, if you ever try and brute force UMAV, they'll do it right back at you, and there's no way you can break through really comfortably. Whereas these guys, not quite there yet, but certainly showed some real potential.
It was really weird to see as well that Epsilon, I mean, they had about 60 kills when the game ended.
Yeah.
And Eyeballers had about 35. Like, we didn't even see that big of a discrepancy in the first map.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this just wasn't the map. Maybe they weren't really together as a team. I mean, even the first half, it wasn't that big of a difference. Maybe Epsilon realized, hey, we should stop messing around. Maybe we should try. I don't really know. But either way, it will be Epsilon advancing through.
Yeah, so I do think we need to... Planet Key Dynamics actually picked up the other game. Not in a huge landslide, even on the second map, as it was 9-8 in the first, so very close there. But obviously the next game we will be watching will be Epsilon against Planet Key Dynamics, I believe.
Sound more confident, you're right.
I'm never good at brackets. Even though I used to play in them, I had no idea. So let's give you a little update there from someone who does know. In the lower bracket, it will be Eyeballers against GC Esports. And in the top half, it's going to be Epsilon up against Planet Key Dynamics. We'll obviously be following the upper side of things. So we'll be seeing what Planet Key Dynamics can really bring to this one. And I can't wait for it. And what's your predictions on that one?
I don't know. I really don't know. If we think about it, Planet Key Dynamics getting that 9-8 victory on the first map against Gamers Connection. And then the second map, they actually won 79 ticket lead. I feel like they're hyped up right now. Yep. And I feel like out of the 3 teams, they're probably the team, obviously with the results, to be the one to upset Epsilon. I want to say it's going to be Epsilon, though, because of just how on par they played towards the end of that map. I mean, they didn't look great in the first half on Operation Locker, but the second, they look like the Epsilon that we know and we come to expect to show up.
Well, we can only wait and find out. So, guys, do not go too far away from your screens because we'll be back after a very short break.